Add it up, bankroll, euro, peso, add it up. I'm just doing me, everything is on me. Oh, you matter what?
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Thank you for joining us here at 3 Sport Podcast. Today I'm joined by Austin, as usual. How's it going, dude?
Pretty good. Enjoying my vacation right now.
Oh, yeah, I bet.
Watching the opening night of the NBA right now, watching the Brooklyn Nets beat up on Golden State here. Pretty ugly.
So, I know you're a bit of a Warriors fan. Give me some intel on the Warriors. What are you feeling so far?
This is not the same Warriors team everybody has been accustomed to seeing the past how many years. I mean, obviously last year was the start of the downturn, but as of right now, if you're not watching the game, Brooklyn is winning 77-49. So nothing is going right for Golden State. The biggest disappointment, in my opinion, for Golden State so far today, Andrew Wiggins looks terrible.
Yeah, he does. He looks really bad. That's not like Andrew Wiggins. Although I don't think he was doing too great last year, but I'm not entirely sure.
The funny thing is everybody was talking about, if Giannis gets traded to Golden State, they'd have to build a package around Andrew Wiggins. It's like,
Yeah, no, I'm glad they didn't. That would have sucked.
No, he's got 2 of 12 shooting, 4 turnovers, minus 24 plus minus.
That whole team is in the minus except for Damian Lee, and that's because Damian Lee's only seen 4 minutes on the floor.
And he's at 0.
He's at 4. Or 0 plus minus, yeah.
Yeah, 0 plus minus.
Poole has seen 6 minutes on the floor, took 2 shots, fouled twice already. Or once, sorry, fouled once. So
Curry's shot hasn't really been there. I mean, he's made a couple good baskets, but
he's 2 for 8.
A few layups. Nothing
Wiseman's
exciting.
3 for 8. Wiseman only has 5 boards. He's being out rebounded by Kelly Oubre. That's not good.
Kelly Oubre, if you didn't see it, he had a nice putback before.
I did see that, though. I did see that.
Okay. That was nice.
But, like, you go to the Nets side of things, this is why I like the Nets. Like, I'm not, like, a Nets bandwagon. I'm not someone that's going to be like, oh, the Nets are great. They're my team. They're not my team. I don't really care about the Nets. But I used to be a Clippers fan. So, like, basically, honestly, just because of Chris Paul. But, like, watching DeAndre Jordan do his thing out here, only having up 4 points, but having 10 boards, it's like that's what he's out there to do.
Yeah.
And he's still doing it. So to be able to have a guy on your team that can put up 10 boards like that, and they even got Joe Harris out here with 7 boards. So it's like they're getting control of the boards. So Kevin Durant has 4, which means he's most likely just sitting on the wing, putting up 3-pointers, letting oh no, he only shot 1 3-pointer, so I'm not really sure what he's doing, but it's a little bit interesting.
He's been quiet. He's been while watching a game, like when he's on, when they're on defense, he's been covering out on the wing a little bit more, so he's not down there to grab any rebounds, which is why I think DeAndre Jordan's got to 10. He's like,
I'm definitely gonna have to watch this Clippers-Lakers game later though, because defending champs against Kawhi Leonard and Paul George. It's gonna be interesting.
You think they're sick and tired of seeing each other yet? And they played each other twice in preseason. How they start off the season against each other.
I imagine LeBron and the Lakers probably aren't tired of it because they were 4-0 in the preseason. So,
yeah, true.
And they just came off of an NBA Finals, so I don't know. It's weird. What do you think about the Warriors signing Toscano Anderson to that 2-way contract and him playing 11 minutes and not scoring a single basket?
Who?
Juan Toscano Anderson.
I never heard of him. Oh, from Marquette?
From Marquette, yeah.
Exactly. Who? Yeah, he didn't do anything at Marquette when he was there, obviously.
Yeah. I don't know. He I saw on Twitter before, they're like, oh, we just signed him to some 2-way contract. I'm like, oh. All right.
They need anybody. They need anybody right now that they can have out on the court, because they don't really have a bench anymore. I mean, like I'm saying, this is not the Warriors team we've grown accustomed to seeing, because they don't have a bench anymore like they had previously. They're playing with a lot of no-name players, and I think this is gonna be a long year for Golden State. I don't think they're going back to the postseason. I think they'll be fighting for a top 5 draft pick this year.
Yeah.
And that hurts me to say because I love Steph Curry.
Yeah.
He's like one of my all-time favorite players. But when you have a team with him and then you have to try to rely on Andrew Wiggins, I don't even know right now who's going to be the number 2 on that team, if it's going to be Wiggins or if it's going to be Kelly Oubre. I'm guessing it's not going to be Wiseman because I haven't really seen him out there a whole lot in this game.
He's played 17 minutes, so he's gotten, out of all the big men, he's gotten the most minutes. So I'm not 100% sure what they got going on with that, but I mean, they only have actually literally one center on their roster right now. But I mean, I'm guessing they're going to run Looney at the center and maybe Marquise Chris, but they have Chris listed as a small forward, so I'm not really sure.
I think they might look better if
I'm gonna see what their depth chart's like.
When Draymond Green comes back and he can play like he had been playing.
Yeah, they got Wiseman, Looney, Chris, and then Draymond's the 4th center. And then they got Smilogic as the 5th. So
like I just watched one of the plays. Spencer Dinwiddie like took it right to Andrew Wiggins, and Andrew Wiggins didn't even do anything on deep. He just let him blow right past him.
You know, someone who I think could make a really big difference with him is Brad Wanamaker. But again, dude's played 10 minutes, hasn't taken a shot. I don't understand why, but Toscano Anderson has 4 points now. Wow, that came out of nowhere.
No, that's because, Wiggins has 13. Oubre has this is shot attempt. But
right, yeah. Curry has his usual 18, 2 for 9 3-pointers. My goodness. It's a weird season so far for the NBA. Speaking of the NBA, Milwaukee Bucks, we got the City sweatshirt on. Got a rep. Got Giannis in the background. Background over here. Wait until tomorrow to watch the Bucks absolutely demolish I believe they play the Celtics. So that'll be fun.
I wouldn't go that far because they haven't looked. I understand it's preseason. I did not.
Just wait till Thanasis gets on the floor, right? Then it's a whole different story.
I really hope that
he won't get any minutes.
I know he probably won't, but I want him to get minutes because he's a hustler out there.
Yeah, but unfortunately, they'd rather play DJ Wilson.
I don't think DJ Wilson.
DJ Wilson is listed as the 2nd string center on the depth chart, and that is very scary because we don't need a string bean playing center. If that was the case, we would take the VeggieTale, the green guy from VeggieTales, and throw him out there, and we're not going to do that. So, but
they really don't have Bobby Portis as the number 2.
He's the 4th actually because they have Giannis as the 3rd center. So I don't know what they're doing, but
and then I'm guessing they have Bobby Portis as the backup power forward though.
Yeah, okay. They only have him playing 4 and 5. They have Nora as the 4th string at the 4, and then the 5th at the 3. Thanasis is the 5th at the 4. That's the only spot they have Thanasis listed at. But that's just so that they could put a spot for Drew Holiday and Chris Middleton to line up at the 2. And I guess that they could put Jalen Adams on the roster. I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah, did they ever? I mean, they play tomorrow. Opening night for them is tomorrow. Did they say who didn't make the roster yet? I haven't seen.
Let me see if I can find their actual roster right now. How many guys are on the roster? It's 13? Yeah.
Yeah, usually you're allowed to take 13 guys.
Okay, so this isn't right. Let me check their website because
so Trayvon Graham and Nick Stauskas were placed on waivers.
But there's still other people that are to be exhausted. Like Mamadi Diatki and some other people.
So here we go. So Montgomery, they waived Montgomery on December 17th. Justin Patton was waived on the 17th. Nick Stauskas and Trayvon Graham were both waived on the 19th.
None of those people are on what I'm looking at right now, though. So what I think they're going to end up doing most likely is Diakite is probably going to be a 2-way or like a G League guy. Sam Merrill will probably also as well. So 5, 10, 15, 16. So that's 14. So then they would also probably do something with Jalen Adams, or that's probably it. They're probably going to put Jalen Adams as a two-way guy as well. So that means I predict them running Giannis, Thanasis, DJ Augustine, Pat Connaughton, Torrey Craig, Dante, Bryn Forbes, Drew Holiday, Brooke Lopez, Middleton, Noara, Portis, and Wilson. But they could put Noara down there too, and they could keep Jalen Adams up. That's very, very much so a possibility, but I don't know what they plan on doing yet. So I guess we'll find out tomorrow.
You should have brought back Frank Mason.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised they didn't, now that I think about it.
He signed a it's like a G. He signed like a 10. Like, I don't know what they call it now. It's a brand new contract. I've never heard of it before. But with the Sixers, he's gonna be playing for their G League team.
Oh,
I'm guessing like it's kind of like their two, like almost like a two-way, but
something like that, probably. Yeah.
An Exhibit 10. That's what they call the contract, an Exhibit 10 contract.
Yeah, I've never heard of that.
Never did either.
That's okay.
But a lot of games on tomorrow. Most importantly, 6:30 TNT. The Bucks and the Celtics.
Yep. Yeah, so there's that one. OKC against Houston's gonna be an interesting game because Houston is like really weird now.
Yeah, speaking of Houston, did you hear what James Harden did at practice?
No, I didn't.
He threw a temper tantrum or something. Like he was like
already? Wow, that's quick.
He was calling out the players, and then he chucked the ball at one of the rookies. I don't know. Did it hit him? I think it hit him in the face or something like that. The ball.
That's quick for Harden. Holy crap!
I think he's just finding everything that he can do to get off that team.
Probably.
I gotta see if I can find it here.
I'm honestly kind of excited to watch this Portland-Utah game, because I've been hearing a lot of good things about Carmelo this season. So I want to see what he's gonna be doing.
Sixth man of the year.
It's possible, yeah. Because I don't know if he's gonna start. I doubt it, but. And then the other game that would be really interesting to watch is this Dallas-Phoenix game. They have Phoenix projected to destroy Dallas. Don't understand how that's possible. I'm guessing just because Kristaps is out, but still, that's weird.
So, yeah, this is what it says. Harden had multiple verbal confrontations with teammates in practice on Sunday and Monday, including throwing a ball at teammate Jashawn Tate after a heated exchange. It says the normally laid-back Harden is apparently showing an uncharacteristic level of frustration. And that's according to Bleacher Report. But
well, I think with all the trade talks about James Harden, I mean, it's like
yeah, I think he's trying to do anything in his power to get out of Houston. Where is he going to go?
I have no idea.
I think his best fit for him would be to end up in Philly.
Anywhere but Brooklyn, dude.
But obviously, if you're going to send him to Philly, it would probably have to. It would have to include. It probably wouldn't have to. It would have to include either Ben Simmons or Joel Embiid, and I feel like him and Joel Embiid would be a better fit than him and Simmons, because I don't think there's any way Philly's going to give up Joel Embiid in that.
Someone said, so like, you know, like with James Harden's temper issues, someone said, sources, Steven Silas reportedly sneezed during an early morning film session and James Harden didn't say bless you. The team is wondering what's the next action, whether that's in the form of suspension or fining.
Oh my God.
So I'm also seeing that apparently people thought that the Nuggets might trade Jamal Murray for Harden. They said no.
I wouldn't. After what he did last year, or I wouldn't even say last year, but because season just ended not that long ago, but in the bubble, no. I don't really think Houston isn't gonna get back what they want to get for Harden. Like, maybe Houston should have called Milwaukee up and been like, "Hey, we'll take Eric Bledsoe and 3 first-round picks for you." Because I mean,
I don't know. I think having Drew Holiday is probably better. I don't want Harden on the Bucks.
No, but the Bucks gave up a lot for 3 first-round picks and Eric Bledsoe for Drew Holiday.
Yeah.
I mean, Drew Holiday's a great player, but that's a lot for a borderline all-star player.
Right.
Speaking of Drew Holiday, did you hear what he's doing
with season? His salary? Yeah.
That was awesome. He's donating his entire salary to small black business owners?
Yep.
That is awesome to see.
Great guy.
Did he say if he was doing it around like the Milwaukee area, or
I think so. That's my guess, but I'm not entirely sure.
That's cool to see. Like, the last person that I remember doing something like that where they donated their whole entire salary was Chris Long. And he donated his entire salary a couple years ago when he was on the Eagles.
Yeah. This is weird. I'm seeing a lot of, like, apparently James Harden posted this picture on Instagram yesterday. Like, just like his hand up at the camera like this.
Mm-hmm.
Like, of him, like, I don't know. It's weird. But, it's like, is he trying to leave, or like what's going on?
I don't know. I don't think it's gonna last. I don't think it's gonna be very long until you see his name, like, he's actually traded. I don't think it's gonna be at the trade deadline. I think it's gonna be within the first few weeks here.
Dude, so because the NBA doing this stupid thing where they're taking away the Bucks pick for 2022, they're only drafting 59 players now.
Yep. Well, because you'd have to think, where would you?
Why not just put it in a raffle and just draw for it?
Well, that's what the NFL usually does. Like, when they've had to take picks away from, like, the Patriots and stuff in the past, and they just took the pick away. I saw Isaiah Thomas tweet that the NBA needs that 60th pick.
Oh my gosh, this guy on Twitter said that Giannis is not a supermax player.
Well, whoever that guy is wrong, because
this guy said, so why didn't LeBron get a supermax? He's a 4 times MVP. This guy said because you can only get a supermax if you re-sign with your original team. What a freaking moron. How do you not understand how supermax contracts work? This dude's name is literally, Giannis is overrated, and he's a Harden fan, so makes sense.
That's probably why he's very bitter.
Well, he's a Nets fan. He likes Kevin Durant a lot.
Well, pretty sure if you're a 2-time back-to-back MVP and you've led your team to the best record in the NBA 2 years in a row, I don't think you're very overrated. Yes, did they fall short of their goal in a championship? Yes. But that doesn't mean you're overrated. There's a lot of overrated players in the NBA, and Giannis is not one.
Well, dude, he was a 2-time MVP and a Defensive Player of the Year. Like, you don't just hand those awards out just because. Like, you have to perform for them, and that's why. It's stupid.
And, you know, Giannis doesn't shoot as many free throws as James Harden does. So, if Giannis shot as many free throws as James Harden, Giannis is not a good free throw shooter. But if Giannis played as much minutes as Harden and shot as much free throws and shot attempts as James Harden, he'd have blown James Harden's points per game out of the water.
Oh, yeah.
Giannis barely played over 30 minutes a game.
Yep.
And finished 6 points per game behind Harden?
Something like that, yeah.
My numbers might be
But I'm
off.
pretty sure Harden took probably, 20 more shots per game than Giannis did?
Yeah.
Yeah. Being 3-pointers, too, so you're getting an extra point, so...
Think about how many free throws he shot, more than anybody else in the league, too.
Exactly. So, the Nets are about to put a 100-piece up on the Warriors before the third quarter ends.
Yep.
Oh, wow. So, everybody talking about this being Steph Curry's comeback and the Nets being, like, probably the best team in the league this year, or one of the best teams. this is looking like that could potentially be true. I saw a thing today that was showing like end of the year NBA stats, and there was a thing that said like the NBA finals would be the Bucks, the Lakers, or the Nets and the Lakers, and it's like a lot of people pick the Nets over the Bucks.
I think we'll get a better picture on how Brooklyn is on Christmas,
or like towards the middle of the season when Kevin Durant decides that he's not healthy enough to play, starts complaining.
Well, you got to remember they did put the restriction in there for star players not being able to sit out on nationally televised games. So,
oh, did they really? I didn't know that was a thing.
Yep. But I mean, Brooklyn plays Boston on Christmas Day at the TD Garden, so they'll play a lot better team than Golden State. Because I mean, Golden State looks like a bunch of reserve players out there right now, and I understand Curry's playing still, but
he's not playing good.
No.
Like, the thing is, these guys aren't reserve players. They're playing like reserve players, so that's just the way they rode. The Warriors just put up their 71st point. It's 71-99.
Yeah, 32 seconds left here in the third quarter.
You got 17 left.
Oh, you're way ahead of me, man.
I'm just following ESPN, honestly, just looking at the screen here. I'm guessing they're probably going to put up 100 before the end of the third quarter, and if they do that, honestly, kind of nuts.
You know what game I want to watch tomorrow too?
Oh, the third quarter ended and they didn't put up 100. That sucks. What?
I'm really looking for. It's right around. It's the same time the Bucks game is, but I'm going to be paying attention to like the box score between the Pelicans and the Raptors.
Oh, because you want to see how Eric Bledsoe plays?
Well, no, not really that, but I want to see like how, because Lonzo Ball apparently, like, did you hear JJ Redick's been telling him to shoot the bleeping ball?
No.
And obviously he did that against the Bucks. He put up 19.
Yeah.
But see how Zion starts his second season. How Eric Bledsoe performs with that team, but then
Zion's overrated.
Toronto. You say Zion's overrated?
Yeah.
Really?
He hasn't played a full season yet.
That's interesting. My opinion, I think he's gonna be.
He's good. Like, I'm not saying he's not good, but I'm just saying, like,
I think in the next couple of years he's gonna be one of the faces in the NBA.
Yeah, but like right now, like from what he did last season, I mean, the little bit of time that he played compared to John Morant, I feel like he got John Morant got no credibility for what he did. Yet Zion got everything, and it's like that's not really fair.
You got to remember, Zion, he played 24 games, averaged 22.5 points a game, 6 rebounds, little over 2 assists. I mean, he played.
Well, again, he played on a team with nobody on it, though, so that's also another thing.
What do you mean he played with team? Are you talking about Zion?
Yeah. Who else is scoring on that team other than Brandon Ingram? That's why Brandon Ingram was putting up 30 points per game.
Drew Holiday averaged 19.
19, yeah.
JJ Redick averaged 15.
Exactly. But who else was scoring on that team? Because you got Lonzo passing the ball, barely even able to shoot. Dude couldn't make layups half the time last year.
Well, then that's like saying, who else was scoring on the Bucks last year besides Giannis and Middleton?
No one. That's just it.
But they averaged.
You gotta face the facts. That's what it is.
They finished with the best record in that. And they're getting a 19.
Because that's just how it works. If that's the sort of strategy that you're gonna run, then that's what you do. But like I'm saying, Zion is 100% overrated for what he did last year. Granted, yeah, he put up 22 points in 24 games. Okay, but play 40 more games and see if those points per game stay the same. That's a lot of points in a short span of time. I get that. But when you play almost 30 minutes per game and you're like the game is played through you because that's how the coach wants to run it, well, you're going to score points. That's like Steve Kerr going out there and saying, hey, so if you get the ball, pass it to Steph, and he's going to shoot a 3. Like, that's essentially how it's going to be ran.
I think Zion's going to – I think he has the potential this season to average 25 a game.
Oh, I'm sure he does because he'll play he'll play every game. He only played 20 this season.
I mean, he obviously didn't deserve to win Rookie of the Year last year.
He didn't deserve Rookie of the Year. He didn't deserve to be on the cover of an NBA 2K video game. It's stupid. Way too overrated.
Not for a first-year player.
No.
That's like saying, like, I never thought that the same kind of hype with Ben Simmons when he joined the league.
Yeah.
I think that, like, he should have never even been in consideration for the Rookie of the Year. His technically his second year in the league, because I mean he might have been rehabbing and stuff, but he could have possibly played later in the season. Philly just decided not to play him as a precaution because they were in that rebuild, and then he came out after a full off-season training camp and getting his body prepared, and he was up there eligible for Rookie of the Year. Who did he beat out again? Was it Donovan Mitchell, right?
Who, Ben Simmons?
Yeah.
Oh,
who did he beat out again?
Let me look. I forget. I don't remember what draft class that was technically part of. He won Rookie of the Year.
He beat out Donovan Mitchell and Jason Tatum. Because I think it's that year should have gone to Donovan Mitchell.
Well, I mean, when Ben Simmons wins Rookie of the Month 4 months out of the 5, Donovan Mitchell wins it 4 months out of the 5. It's like it's basically
no. What I'm saying is I don't think Ben Simmons should have been qualified as a rookie.
He shouldn't have. I agree with that. That's stupid.
I know there's a lot of people that probably would have that different take on that, but
there's a lot of people that would have a different take on that, and that's because they're not true NBA watchers or thought thinkers, in my opinion. Because if you think that somebody like Ben Simmons, who got drafted in 2016, can be eligible to be a rookie in 2018, 2 years after he got drafted, like, this guy's already had 2 years technically of watching NBA gameplay and being a part of an NBA roster. So it's like, how in the world is this even fair? Like, it just doesn't make sense.
Well, technically, no. He just sat out 1 year.
Right, but theoretically,
but he got the help of, like, you know, the Sixers training staff to get him prepared for the following season. Where other guys, you know, they came in, because the NBA always has a short, like, off-season period. You get like, before the whole COVID thing happened, like, you'd always get a couple weeks, then you'd have the draft, and then right after the draft, boom, you're into summer league games, and then you get a little time off from after the summer league games. You're opening training camps, you're in preseason, and then bam, season starts.
You want to know something that's really interesting?
What's that?
So, what do you think about, like, Player of the Week and Player of the Month? You think those awards mean anything?
Player of the Month does.
You don't think Player of the Week does at all?
No.
Because
Player of the Week, you could just have one good week.
Well, the first season Giannis won MVP. He won Player of the Week 6 times. The most anyone else won it was 4 in that season. And then he won Player of the Month 3 out of the 4 months eligible. And then this last year, he won it 4 times. The most anyone else won it for Player of the Week was 3. And then he won Player of the Month 3 times.
Is that just Eastern Conference, or is that entire NBA?
So Eastern Conference, he won it 4 times. But yeah, no one in the Eastern or Western Conference won more than 4. Won more than 3 times.
LeBron didn't win it as much as Giannis did.
He only won it 3 times.
Weird.
And then
LeBron.
Player of the Month, LeBron won it twice, Harden won it once, and Luka won it once. And then Giannis won it 3 times, and the last one was Jason Tatum.
Weird.
And then people wonder, like, oh, well, how did Giannis win MVP over LeBron and James Harden? Well, take a look. Look how many times he was Player of the Week and Player of the Month. Like, obviously, people in the NBA are acknowledging how good of a freaking player this guy is, and it's not just some sham of an award.
Well, you want to know how Giannis won MVP over LeBron James last year?
Because he's good.
He had the highest player efficiency rating in the NBA history.
Exactly.
He put up way better stats than he did his previous MVP season. He led his team to another best record in the NBA, that was better than the Lakers. Don't give me that the Lakers won the championship. Yeah, LeBron played
Yeah.
LeBron played way better in the bubble and in the like terms of the playoffs than Giannis and the Bucks did. But playoffs don't determine regular season awards. Giannis was the regular season MVP. LeBron James and the Lakers are the NBA champions. There you go. Giannis deserved that MVP. I don't care. Like, listening to all those analysts say, well, LeBron, look at what he's done for the Lakers. Giannis's team was better than the Lakers in the regular season. It's a regular season award. Like, don't give me that LeBron James. Because, yeah, he did have a great year. Number 2, the second best season out of anybody.
Yep.
Finished second in terms of MVP voting, like he should have.
Dude, you know, I just realized so I'm looking through like stuff that happened from the NBA season last year. I don't know how I didn't see this. Did you know Chandler Parsons got hit by a drunk driver earlier this year?
I thought I heard something, but I don't remember.
And apparently his injuries are career ending, his attorney said.
Oh, I thought he was already done. His career was already over anyway.
Dude, this is a weird year because like Drew Holiday and his brothers were the first 3 brothers to play in the same NBA game. Melo became the 18th player in NBA history to reach 26,000 points while playing for the Trailblazers. Russell Westbrook of the Houston Rockets became the second player to record a triple-double. It's like...
Wait, he became the second player to record a triple-double?
What do you mean by that? Against all 30 NBA teams.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, I probably should have completed that. In October of this year, Taylor Horton Tucker became the second youngest NBA player to win a championship after the Lakers beat the Heat. There's a lot of Donovan Mitchell on here. Vince Carter retired. San Antonio Spurs. Dude, you know what I just realized? The Spurs and the Patriots, 2 dominant sports teams, both got eliminated from the playoffs, ending a long streak this year. Yeah, that's crazy. I didn't even think about that. Holy crap.
You want to know what else? When you said Vince Carter, what you should have referenced?
That he moved past Alex English for 19th on the All-NBA scoring list?
No. He was the last person to make – he made the last basket before NBA went into lockdown from COVID. He was the last person to hit a shot in front of fans.
I'm surprised that doesn't even say this on here.
So I'm pretty sure it was like an overtime game, and it was they canceled every other game that night, but that game went on as scheduled. And I thought he hit the game winner.
Dude, you know what's crazy? I didn't even realize this either. Literally the day after LeBron passed Kobe in All-NBA all-time scoring is when Kobe died.
Yep. Wow. That's why when I first got news, I got a phone call when I was at a family function, and somebody they were like, "Did you hear the news about Kobe?" I was like, "What are you talking about? Like, my phone hasn't gone off." I'm watching. I think the Pro Bowl was on that day, and I was like, "He's like, yeah, Kobe just passed." I was like, "No, there's no way he did because LeBron just passed him. Like, we just seen Kobe alive,
right?"
And then all of a sudden, I'm like looking on like Twitter and stuff like that, and nobody's saying anything. And then within 5 minutes of the call, ESPN switches over to Sports Center, like breaking news, and I was like, "Whoa, like that is crazy to believe that." Like, his final day was like, God was like, "Okay, you're going to see LeBron James pass you in the all-time scoring list, and then I need you with me." That's basically what I like.
2020 was crazy for the NBA, though.
David Stern passed away.
That happened. David Stern passed away, and then the season got indefinitely suspended because Rudy Gobert decided to touch 14 microphones. And then the NBA had a bubble where everybody was in this area, and then the Spurs going out of contention. Donovan Mitchell and Jamal Murray both scoring 50 points in a playoff game. The Milwaukee Bucks boycotting Game 5 of their playoff series. It's like, wow.
Don't forget, in the bubble, in the 8 games in the bubble, Phoenix was the only team to go 8-0 in the bubble.
Yeah, that's true. I forgot about that. Yep. They didn't mention that in here either.
Just it was a weird year in general for all sport. I mean, it's still like I understand, like even when like in the NFL they have like they're pumping in crowd noise and stuff like that, but like you could still see like sometimes like the stadium being empty, and it's just like weird to see like not a lot of fans, or in some cases no fans at stadiums, and then like watching this Warriors Nets game right now, I like looking at the bubble better because they had like, the screen in the background that they would show fans like on like online watching the game. But this, it's like they have covers over the seats that just say like Brooklyn, like the Nets logo over it, and they still have everybody separated so far. It's like, this doesn't seem like a normal NBA regular season game.
Dude, and you know what's also crazy about this game?
What's that?
It's a debut of Steve Nash.
Debut of head coach Steve Nash. And
what a debut it is.
Tony.
He's got to be proud of his guys.
Oh,
the only person on that team that's in the negatives is for plus minus is Reggie Perry, and I don't even understand why he's in the negatives. Oh, I just closed it out. Oh, that's too bad.
Well, he's played 1 minute, so
yeah. But to shift gears real quick, did the Rams get paid to lose to the Jets, or what happened over there?
I don't know. I think the players on the Jets, like,
they played really
good. They realized that
weird.
Adam Gase's job was on the line, so they're like, we're gonna go get him a win to secure a job for next year.
They're like, hashtag extend Adam Gase.
Yeah, that's what it seemed like. Like, I don't know what the heck. If I'm a Jets fan, I'm pissed off.
Oh, 100%, because you lose your you 100%, like, absolutely.
You go from having Trevor Lawrence locked up to
potentially losing him.
Now you need the Jaguars to win at least one game, and the Jaguars have the Bears, who obviously the Bears are still in fighting for the playoff spot, so they're going to give it their all.
And then you have the Colts, who are also fighting for a playoff spot.
And they're fighting for a playoff spot and a possible division. So the Jets they screwed themselves out of Trevor Lawrence. I think now, personally, since you're out of the Trevor Lawrence race, you stick with Sam Darnold.
Well, you know what? Well, they're not out, because it says here that the Jaguars have a 74% chance. 74 is a high number, but it's not guaranteed yet.
Well, that's if the Jaguars win one game. The Jaguars would have to win one of those games to. If they lose out, and the Jets lose out, I think the Jaguars still get the number one spot. Unless there's some sort of like, when it comes to like,
the Jaguars have a higher projection to win the number one pick than the Jets do now. That's crazy.
So with the Jets possibly losing that number one pick, I'm sticking with Sam Darnold if I'm the Jets.
Well, I don't think the Jaguars take Trevor Lawrence, though, is my thing.
Really?
Yeah, why would they?
You're telling me you stick with Gardner Minshew?
I don't think they're going to stick with Gardner Minshew, but I don't think they're going to take Trevor Lawrence. I don't think they go for a quarterback. I feel like they have a few other spots they need to work on. Like
they have
they
have a lot of holes in terms of that, like the entire team, like especially on the defensive side. But
their offensive line's fine. It's not too bad. They've got Linder and they have Norwell, so it's not too bad. But like their wide receiver core, I mean, honestly, they can roll with Keelan Cole. That dude's a monster at catching a football. And Chark and those guys.
I think the Jaguars have 11 picks in this coming draft.
Yeah.
So they could get Trevor Lawrence and then find other complementary pieces later on in the draft.
Yeah, they could.
Okay, so they have 10, according to back in August, but I don't know if they've made any trades, or I don't think they think they have 10. but they have 2 first-round picks this year. So I don't think there's any way that you can pass on Trevor. I think Trevor Lawrence is a generational talent.
Dude, you know what's funny is like the Jets winning could cause their head coach to get fired. Imagine getting fired because you won a game.
Hey, whatever you can do to get that guy out of there is just they need a new head coach badly. Get Adam Gase. I guarantee you Black Monday when it like that, obviously that's that next day after week 17 when all the coaches get fired. He's going to be the first name you hear. Either that or Anthony Lynn.
Well, and they're saying here, so the guy that's GM for the Jets now did not draft Darnold, so he holds no allegiance towards him.
Yep.
So honestly, I can see them getting rid of Darnold, but
if you get a good coach around him,
he has a fifth year option. So
you know how annoying it is though, seeing all these teams that are always bad, like so far since we've been watching, like the Jets, Detroit, who's another team that usually has been bad?
The Browns, but they're actually good now.
The Browns, well, right now, yes, because they finally found a head coach in Kevin Stefanski. But like those 4 teams, I mean, even including like Miami, no offense.
So even the Dolphins, they've been bad for a while. I mean, what was it, the last year, 2013 or whatever, when they were like actually not bad?
You got these teams, they always are firing and finding new head coaches. It's like by the time you think about it, it's not always the coaches. You're not.
Well, it's not even that. How many quarterbacks have Cleveland gone through? Like 16. Like it's like what the heck?
Like it's it, especially with like Detroit. I think we were. I don't know. I don't remember if we were talking about last week when I said something about like they actually had a decent team underneath Jim Caldwell, and that was one of the best teams that they've had in years since like. Ever since I've been watching football since I was a little kid, Dolphins have always been like the bottom feeders in the NFC North. And it's just sickening to see like guys like this. You hear Aaron Rodgers say that Matt Stafford doesn't get like the respect he deserves, but they don't know how to build a team around Matt Stafford.
Yeah.
Like front offices need to start learning how to build teams around specific players.
Well, like, listen to this. So, the Browns started going downhill in the Tim Couch era for their quarterbacks.
Mm-hmm.
So, this how many different starting quarterbacks they've had, and that was 1999. So, Tim Couch, Ty Detmer, Doug Peterson, Spurgeon Wynn, Kelly Holcomb, Jeff Garcia, Luke McCown, Trent Dilfer, Charlie Fry, Derek Anderson, Brady Quinn, Ken Dorsey, Bruce Gronkowski, Colt McCoy, Jake Delhomme, Seneca Wallace, Brandon Whedon, Thad Lewis, Jason Campbell, Brian Hoyer, Johnny Manziel, Connor Shaw, Josh McCown, Austin Davis, Cody Kessler, RG3, Deshaun Kaiser, Kevin Hogan, Baker Mayfield, and Tyrod Taylor. That's what, 30?
I lost count.
That's like, I honestly think that's like 20 to 30. Somewhere in that region. That's too many quarterbacks.
It just goes to show your scouting department does not do a good job at scouting quarterbacks.
It's horrible. Like, you look at a team then like the Packers, dude, they rolled with Brett Favre from 1992, or technically 1993 to 2007. And then from 2008 on, it's been Aaron Rodgers, other than when he's been hurt, and it's been Matt Flynn, Scott Tolzien, Seneca Wallace, or Brett Hundley. But
other than that, we haven't like been switching quarterbacks. Like,
yeah, it's been consistent. Like before Brett Favre, it was Don Majkowski and everyone else that was there, and then Brett Favre came in and he was the starter forever.
Yep.
Now it's Rodgers. And these other guys who started in between only started because Rodgers was hurt.
So since we're talking about, teams that have been using not multiple quarterbacks, but a large amount of quarterbacks for a long period of time, it gets me to think about a team that's on the rise right now that is fighting for their lives in the Chicago Bears.
Oh, I would say San Francisco.
No. Do you think we can talk about them later because there was news out of San Francisco today that I
saw that.
But do you think Trubisky's doing enough to possibly make the Bears think twice? They finally switched their offense up completely, and it's working.
Honestly, I think at this point they might as well stick with him because they've invested too much into him.
Might as well. I mean, you changed the offense. He looks good in this offense.
Yeah.
They have Jacksonville this coming week, which should be a no doubt win. But Jacksonville's played some tough good teams tough this year.
Yep.
And then they end the season at home against Green Bay, which could be big playoff implications for not only them but also the Packers. So I don't know. That's another team just like that. It just made me think because you named off a large list of quarterbacks for the Browns, but Chicago's also had a large list of quarterbacks since, what was it? Jim McMahon, but they've also, they had Cutler for a while.
Dude, I'm looking at this list of Jaguars quarterbacks. To be honest with you, Gardner Minshew's not even that bad, as to what he could be. His completion percentage is 60%, which isn't horrible. He has 3,000 yards, 21 touchdowns, and only 6 picks. Oh, wait, this is through the 2019 season, so he might have more now. Yeah, he has 10 picks now. But still, he's got a 63% completion percentage, 31 touchdowns. It's not that terrible, honestly. 95.3 passer rating. Doesn't run the ball a lot, but that's probably for the better.
Yeah.
But a 31 to 10 touchdown interception ratio, that's honestly not bad.
So here's an article that I just found from March 20th. It's from USA Today, the Bears Wire. This is right after Tom Brady announced he was going to Tampa. The Chicago Bears had 23 starting quarterbacks, during the Tom Brady era in New England.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that's another. They're just them and Cleveland. I feel like have been the ones searching for quarterback.
What's because for the longest time the quarterback for Chicago was Rex Grossman.
Yeah.
And then when it wasn't Rex Grossman, it was Jay Cutler. And then when it wasn't Jay Cutler, it was some rando.
Then you also got it says in Tom Brady's era, Arizona had 20 different quarterbacks. The Rams had 20. Minnesota had 20. Oakland had 20.
And then with the Cardinals, you got Carson Palmer, Kurt Warner, Josh McCown, Kevin Cobb, Drew Stanton, Matt Leinart. That was, again, another team that couldn't figure it out with quarterbacks.
Yep.
Yeah.
The teams that were in that Tom Brady era,
are the Chiefs on there?
Kansas City had 13 different quarterbacks.
Yeah, so Kansas City had quite a few because I know they went from between Trent Green and all those guys for a while.
Yeah, so New England had 4 if you include Tom Brady.
What is Tennessee at?
16.
Okay, so Tennessee was pretty big too.
So the only other team that had the lowest total was the Chargers.
Because Philly Ribs was out there for a while, and I think that was when Breeze played for them as well.
And then Green Bay and New Orleans were both at 6.
And then New Orleans would have been Breeze going to New Orleans, and before it was Breeze,
Aaron Brooks,
yep.
And that's his name, right? Or am I?
Yep, it's Aaron Brooks. I don't know who the other guy that was there is though.
Well, you gotta probably include Teddy Bridgewater because that was during the whole Tom Brady era. Because Teddy Bridgewater did start for them. Who else? Because I can't really remember a time.
Was it Luke McCown? Did he ever start for the Saints? I have a weird feeling that he did.
No, what Chase Daniels was their. No, did he? I don't remember.
Luke McCown started one game for the Saints.
Did Chase Daniel ever start for them?
Nope.
Oh.
Not once.
Yeah, I don't remember the other teams.
I'll take a look here. I have a thing up with former.
But yeah, Chicago and Cleveland had the highest two totals.
New Orleans starting quarterbacks. So during that time, Mark Brunell started a season. Luke McCown or a game. Luke McCown started a game, and then Teddy Bridgewater. Yep. Oh wait, no. You said 4?
6.
6? Yeah. So 1, 2, 3.
I mean, obviously
4, 5. Yep. So Jeff Blake, Aaron Brooks, Todd Bowman, Mark Brunell, Drew Brees, Luke McCown, and Teddy Bridgewater.
I can't. Every time I think of Mark Brunell, I picture him with the Redskins and the Jags. I don't remember him being on the Saints. But that's when I was really.
Oh wait, actually, so it's just Brooks, Bowman, Brees, Brunell, McCown, and Bridgewater. Jeff Blake was in 2000, so they didn't.
And obviously, if you add that in now, you got to add in Taysom. Well, it's over. The very first NBA game is now officially final. Brooklyn beat Golden State 125-99. If any of you didn't watch the game, doesn't pay to go back and.
Yeah, I'm so glad I didn't. Oh yeah, dude, the Vikings had a lot of quarterback issues. Oh my. Hey, there's Spurgeon win again. And Todd Bowman. Wow, they had a lot of different quarterbacks. And Kelly Holcomb, wow, he was everywhere.
And you
Brett
got
Favre, Tavares Jackson, Joe Webb, Christian Potter, Donovan McNabb, Matt Castle, Josh Freeman, Teddy Bridgewater, Sam Bradford, Sean Hill, Case Keenum, Kirk Cousins, Sean Mannion, Dante Culpepper, Gus Surratt. Yeah. Let's see, but yeah, I mean, on the other spectrum of things, going back to like NFL football, in popular news, Washington football team quarterback Dwayne Haskins has dug himself an even deeper hole. He, I guess, took pictures with strippers without wearing a mask on, or without wearing a mask. So, him already being a horrible football player made this even worse. So, he honestly should just get cut. He is horrible.
Yeah, he was already, like, obviously Ron Rivera doesn't have a tie to him because, that's not the quarterback that he drafted.
He had a QBR of 57 in that game against Seattle. So
wasn't there a thing out that he's like, they have, like, Washington hasn't, like, seen him, like, studying enough of the playbook or something like that?
Oh, I'm sure. I haven't seen that, but I'm sure.
So he's already been in hot water, and then for a report like this to come out, like, it does not look good for him. Washington's they're either gonna try to get a new quarterback in free agency, or they're gonna draft somebody.
So, Tom Brady got one of his offensive linemen back this week.
Who's that?
Donovan Smith, which is his starting left tackle, so that's good for him.
Yeah, it's okay. We don't need Tom Brady in the playoffs.
No.
Even though they will be in the playoffs. But...
And that's going to be cool seeing Josh Gordon playing again. And Greg Olson's going to be there as well.
You want to know, out of all quarterbacks, what we haven't talked about yet? Because it was so long. It feels like it was so long ago.
What's that?
We were both watching the game on Thursday. The return of Marcus Mariota.
Oh, yeah. No. Oh, we talked about that in our PlayStation. We didn't talk about that.
Yeah, talked about that
on here, though. Yeah. He looked good.
He did.
He looked really good. He He had 200 yards, a touchdown, a pick, QBR 97, had 88 yards rushing and a touchdown. Honestly, I'd say that's pretty phenomenal.
He ran the ball so good.
He did.
Like, he was out there running the ball like he looked like. It's been a while. I don't watch Cam Newton play anymore because Cam Newton's not a good starting quarterback anymore.
No.
But he looked like Cam Newton running the football, trying to run over guys and stuff like that.
Yeah. Cam Newton of old.
I like Derek Carr. Derek Carr, they said the injury was a little bit more severe than they thought. Your season's basically done and over with. Give Marcus Mariota the keys to the team. Let him play those last 2 games. I would.
No, dude. I just read something. Are the 49ers in playoff contention by any means at all, or no?
I don't think so.
Okay, because they so they only have 2 quarterbacks available.
Mm-hmm.
So do you know Josh Johnson?
Yep.
That dude that played for Washington last year or whatever.
And then he played in the
XFL.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So he is on the 49ers practice squad, but he's on the COVID list. So they assume he tested positive. Did you see who they signed?
I did, and I liked it.
Really? You like that?
I mean, the kid's still young.
He's trash. Josh Rosen sucks.
He is still young. He's a former first-round pick that had 1 year to play in Arizona.
He's a former first-round pick that doesn't deserve to be a first-round pick.
Maybe he didn't deserve to be a first-round pick, but
he got
horrible. 1 year. He got 1 year in Arizona. Then
when he went to Miami,
Kyler Murray. Then he went to Miami,
and he was horrible.
They basically were like, we're trying to lose so we can try to get a quarterback next year. So we're just gonna have you here. And then where did he go?
That's not even relevant though, because Ryan Fitzpatrick balled out last year. Like, it doesn't make any sense.
You know what I'm doing if I'm San Fran? Obviously he can't. I don't think he's gonna have a big.
Honestly, if I were them, I'd just put Josh Rosen in. Screw it.
Yeah.
You have nothing to lose. Why start CJ Beathard?
I mean, you know what you got out of CJ Beathard, and you've seen him a couple times this year. You've put him in for Jimmy Garoppolo and Nick Mullins, and then you're like, okay, we're just gonna send you back. We're not gonna activate you. You're gonna be our 3rd string quarterback. So obviously, you don't believe in CJ Beathard a lot. I don't think Josh Rosen plays in this game because isn't there? I understand he's coming off Tampa Bay's practice squad, so it's not like he's coming physically like off the street or something. But
let me read.
Eligible to play with?
I think he is,
because obviously he's going through COVID testing when he's with Tampa Bay. But
because Nick Mullins might need Tommy John. Josh Johnson is on the COVID list. Jimmy Garoppolo is
injured like usual.
Practice window.
Yeah, Jimmy Garoppolo, he's not going to play. He does.
Yeah, so Josh Rosen can play because they can't sign someone off the street. They have to sign someone off of a practice squad because when someone's on a practice squad, they get tested for COVID. Hence how Josh Johnson got placed on the COVID list. So Josh Rosen would be available on Sunday.
So obviously he's not going to have a vast knowledge of the playbook. So I'm not.
But they did also say that George Kittle could return Saturday. So that's also something too.
Yeah, I'm sitting George Kittle out too. I love George Kittle. He's one of, like, if not my favorite tight end in the league.
Be great for my fantasy team if he didn't, but it's understandable.
But you're not playing for anything.
Playing for not last place. That's what I'm playing for.
Okay, well you deserve to be in last place then.
I don't.
You and your many leagues.
Mm-hmm.
Which is probably, I don't know why you still even had him on your roster.
Because I have an IR spot. Might as well just keep him.
Oh, yeah. I remember you told me that. I guess you can play. I mean, George Kittle is good, but is Jordan Reed still healthy?
Yeah, Jordan Reed's been balling out, so
Yeah, you might as well just let Jordan Reed
honestly
play. Let him get his bag in free agency because I'm guessing they signed him to a 1-year deal.
Well, hopefully Christian McCaffrey can practice tomorrow. I'd like to see him back on the field.
We guess you got him in fantasy too.
I don't, but it sucks seeing someone like that out for so long. Dude's so good.
I mean, he could put a damper on if he comes back and plays. He could put a damper on Tampa Bay, possibly making the playoffs.
Yeah.
Because I mean, they basically are. I don't know what their percentage is of making it, but they're sitting at 9-5 right now.
Yeah. Let's see. What else do I want to talk about? Oh, so I want to talk about the Miami game from last week. So, I was very excited watching this game. It was a heartbreaker because, like, not a heartbreaker. It was like a heart jitterer. My nerves were going because you're watching a team that's, I'm gonna be honest, they're going through by the skin of their teeth right now. Like they're in the hunt for a playoff spot. But the Ravens essentially have to lose, or the Dolphins have to win out. Well, they have to win out, honestly, regardless. But the Ravens could lose, the Colts could lose, whatever. We figured it out before. I'm not going to go through it again because it already racked my brain too much. But, like, the Dolphins, they're finally starting to figure out what they need to do to win. And that's they need to figure out a run game. And they had it. They had a run game on Sunday. And I was very surprised. Ahmed had 122 yards and a touchdown. I don't think a single Dolphins running back had over 100 yards rushing this season, other than maybe Myles Gaskin once. But Matt Breida also had 86 yards, and Tua had 2 rushing touchdowns, and Patrick Laird had a nice 12-yard run. It was like, man, like, this team looks kind of nice. And then, I don't know if you saw any highlights from that game. They had a 2-point conversion play where they did like a little like trick thing. They did like a lateral on the goal line. That was pretty nice. So, but the biggest part of this whole game, so Xavier Howard, 1 interception away from double digits, didn't get it, unfortunately. But that, and they're without Parker and Gesicki, and they still won without throwing a passing touchdown.
I see your boy that you were talking about earlier in the week, Isaiah Ford, had 3 catches.
Yeah, Isaiah Ford was out there. He had some playing time. But no, I think Salvin Ahmed is a blessing for this roster. He is very talented. I watched some highlights of him running. He's a burner. Dude runs fast and he's strong. He knows how to like get through and do what he needs to do.
You guys just have to figure out who your running back is going to be.
Yeah, I mean, what I would love for them to do next year is to get rid of Matt Breida, throw Patrick Laird on the practice squad, and then get rid of Washington and stick with Ahmed and Gaskin, and then sign draft either Najee Harris or Travis Etienne in the draft this year. Because the Dolphins could still finish with the 5th pick and also make the playoffs, I saw.
Yeah, because they have Houston's first rounder.
Yeah. Oh, that's why Houston needs to wait. Does Houston would need to win, right? Or they would need to lose? They would need to lose, right?
You were saying something about Houston needing to lose earlier, but I was trying to figure out what you meant, but then it just clicked to me.
So yeah, that makes sense now. That's what it would be. Okay.
Because this is how many you got 2 first-round picks from Houston from that Laramie Tunsil deal, right? And
that's right. Yep, I forgot about that.
And obviously, with Houston being right now 4-10 on the season.
Yeah. Dude, yesterday or that Sunday, that game was so weird. So Jason Sanders, who normally plays very well, only hit 2 extra points. He didn't make any field goals, which is fine. They went for a fake punt pass, completed it, got called back due to illegal formation, of course, like usual. Landon Roberts, the linebacker, had a kick return. I'm guessing that was either an onside attempt or a squib kick. And then Elandon Roberts also led the team in total tackles and also had a fumble recovery. So it was a big day for Elandon Roberts. But like that Dolphins defense is very good. And I feel like they're slept on big time.
Yeah, they got a good. This is probably. I'm trying to think of any other Bill Belichick disciple that has been like became a good coach in the NFL. And right now, I think he's got to be the best.
Yeah, because we saw what happened to Matt Patricia. Yup, out of the house, gone.
Mm-hmm. But I feel like he's like taken some of the Patriot way.
Wasn't
and made it
Brian
his own.
Flores a defensive coordinator for the Patriots?
Yes.
So it makes sense that his defense is good. Like, dude, this team did not give up a single touchdown on Sunday. It was all field goals. That's the other crazy thing. Sure, they gave up 100 receiving yards to Jacoby Myers and 74 rushing yards to Sony Michel, but they didn't give up any touchdowns. Not one.
Hold on, I gotta look at something once quick. Because Matt Patricia was the defensive coordinator in New England.
Oh, I thought he was an offensive coordinator.
He was the linebackers coach.
Oh, yeah. Which makes sense why their linebackers are so good. I guess that makes sense.
Yeah, Matt Patricia was the defensive coordinator. He was the linebackers coach from 2016 to 2018 until he got hired.
Which makes sense why their linebackers are honestly pretty good.
Yeah.
Oh, this says he was the defensive play caller for New England for his final season coaching for the team.
Which probably is why he got...
Which concluded with the Super Bowl title.
Yeah, where he got recognition to become a head coach.
Yep. Same thing with, what's his name? That dude from the 49ers.
Talking about Robert Saleh?
Yes, that guy. Yep.
He could be I'm guessing he's going to be probably really high on head coaching list this year too.
Yeah, he's been. Lots of people want him.
I don't know if there'd be a good enough job out there if I'm like, you got to think what jobs are going to be available most likely. You got the Jets. You have the Falcons, who are already fired their coach.
The Lions.
Detroit. We're guessing probably the Chargers.
So the Falcons, Texans.
Texans, I forgot to put them in there.
He's worked for the Texans before.
So, like, those are 5 teams for sure. I mean, you could throw Doug Marrone getting fired for the Jets.
He was on the Jaguars before, too.
And the only other one, there's 2 other ones that I can think of that are just personal bias where I think.
Joe Judge?
No.
Oh.
They both come from the NFC North.
Oh.
I mean, Matt Nagy.
Oh, Matt Nagy, man.
Matt Nagy's job is still on the line.
Mike Zimmer's not going to get cut.
I know, but
there's no way they can.
I'm sorry, but after that going for it on 4th down from your own 32-yard line that early in the ball game, I understand he's not the play caller in terms of, on the offense because he's a defensive-minded coach, but I'm not a fan of Mike Zimmer as a head coach. He's a great defensive coordinator.
Yeah.
So that's just a personal bias in my opinion.
I'm not either, but it's just like, like with that team, like that he's going to end up staying there.
Yeah.
Until his contract goes out.
Well, I mean, that's a team that gave 100% guarantee to Kirk Cousins' contract. So.
Yeah.
But they also have, in my opinion, probably this year's Rookie of the Year, Offensive Rookie of the Year.
Yeah, we're going to see. I don't know. It's going to be interesting how this season ends up.
Jeannie Buss has got a nice purple and gold jacket on right now.
Oh, yeah, I'm going to have to watch that pretty soon here. Let's see. What else do we got going on that happened last week? Oh, wait, what am I saying? Dude, the Steelers and the Bengals game. Like, what in the world happened this week? The Jets beat the Rams and the Bengals beat the Steelers. Like,
Goes to show that the Steelers being 11-0 is a big freaking fluke.
well, and ironically enough, the past few weeks you got a guy doing TikToks dancing on team logos. You think maybe that's a little bit of bad juju from Juju?
Stop it. Stop
I don't
it. He needs to stop it.
He needs to stop. It's bad.
You could tell. I guarantee you, he's doing it because he's doing this before the games. The defensive players know that he's doing it. They're pissed. He's pissing them off.
Oh yeah, they're mad. They even said so.
Yeah. Who was it? Was it Von Bell that said something to him?
Von Bell's the one that laid him out.
Von Bell's the one that laid him out. But was he the one that said something?
I don't know. But dude, like, then Joe Hayden can go on Twitter and say, "My dog Juju dancing is the least of our problems. Take our L's like a man and move on."
No, you know what their biggest problem is? That their wide receivers right now can't catch a football. Yesterday they were finally able to find some sort of running game, but still the running game's been atrocious. Big Ben I don't know what Big Ben's turned into.
He's a fraud, big fraud.
But a lot of it has to go back to his wide receivers are not helping him. They're not catching the football. I don't know, that their defense is still good. I don't care what anybody says. I mean, Ryan Finley didn't really light him up. I mean, what did I say? He had 7 completions.
Yeah,
it's not like he lit him up.
But that little cheeky 30-yard rushing touchdown that he had, that was pretty interesting.
Yeah, that was. I don't know. I right now, because we were doing that NFL playoff machine before we got on, I right now have Pittsburgh losing their last 2 games of the season. So I have them losing 5 straight entering the playoffs, which you don't want to start 11-0, go on a 5-game losing streak, and then head into the playoffs on a downturn.
Yeah.
But that's what I think. Pittsburgh's left us no choice into thinking that they're not going to beat Indy this week. And then the way that Cleveland's been playing, I don't know if they have the firepower to stick with Cleveland and Cleveland's defense. So
what do the Jets do if they don't get that number 1 pick, do you think? Do you think they stick with Darnold?
Yeah. Huh? I stick with Sam Darnold, and
You don't think they go for Justin Fields?
No.
I'd hope not.
There's too big of a gap between Trevor Lawrence and obviously I think Justin Fields is probably the number 2 quarterback. I'm not high on Justin Fields because he's coming out of Ohio State, and Ohio State quarterbacks I haven't seen a good Ohio State quarterback in the NFL.
Yep, let's think of some past Ohio State quarterbacks. Dwayne Haskins, JT Barrett,
Cardell Jones, Braxton Miller, who's not even a quarterback in the NFL. Who won what is his name? He won Heisman for them how many years ago? I gotta think of his name. And he ended up getting being a 5th round pick.
No idea.
Can't remember his name.
Ohio State quarterback in the NFL. Troy Smith,
that's what it was. None of them were good quarterbacks in the NFL. What makes you think? And they were all great in college, all of them.
Oh yeah.
Everybody thought that
JT Barrett was the next big thing.
He was amazing in college.
Mm-hmm.
What makes everybody think that Justin Fields is different? He's a great college player, but until there is an Ohio State quarterback that does good, I mean, maybe he could be the first.
Yeah, maybe, but
there's a lot of question marks to me personally drafting a Ohio State quarterback that high in the draft.
I'd take Mac Jones over Justin Fields, to be honest with you.
You could, but again, that leaves me to the case of also Alabama doesn't have really any. I know Tua.
I was gonna say, you want to stop there or what?
But there a lot of these big name college teams do not produce good starting quarterbacks in the NFL.
Nope.
So
I mean, some Alabama quarterbacks, you got AJ McCarron, absolute monster.
in
Jamarcus
college.
Russell.
Biggest bust probably in the NFL. Wait, did you say Jamarcus Russell?
Yeah.
He went to LSU.
I saw Jamarcus Russell when I looked up Alabama quarterbacks. Not sure why. Yeah, Jamarcus Russell. Why is he on here? Was he born in Alabama or something?
Yeah, he played with.
Oh, he was born in Alabama.
Oh,
Why did they tell me that then? That's so dumb. This is Alabama Crimson Tide football. I thought that looked weird. I was like, that doesn't make any sense.
yeah. It took me a second to realize you said Jamarcus Russell, like, because I was like biggest bust, and I was like, wait a second.
The last, honestly, other than like Tua and Jalen Hurts, the last like notable quarterback from Alabama is, I guess, AJ McCarron, but like other than that, Brody Croyle, and that's not saying a lot.
Yeah, but it's like, I understand. I might get a lot of hate for saying that Justin Fields is not a good, like, I would not draft Justin Fields that high, but if you literally think about it, he's an Ohio State quarterback playing really great at Ohio State because, by God, Ohio State gets all the good talent, like along like with all the other good like top teams in college. But as soon I hope he makes me eat my words. But if I'm the Jets, though, I'm drafting a offensive lineman to protect Sam Darnold.
No shot.
No? What do you do if you're the Jets?
If I was in the Jets position and we fell to the second pick, I'd trade it. I wouldn't take it.
You could trade it, yeah.
Reason being is because you can go and pick up a lineman, but you got to look at what the Jets need for help. They don't have for a starter. They don't have a stable running back. Frank Gore is going to be out of there next year if he stays in the league. He might not be on that team. LaMichael Pirine didn't really do much this year. Ty Johnson's the biggest star so far, I feel like, for that team, and he's bad, so that's not good.
Yeah, I like that. I like that idea. I would trade back, but
trade back far though too. Like, you got to get something good. Like, who cares about the pick?
As many picks. Yeah, I would try to get as many picks as you can.
Well, I'm saying
make sure you get at least 2 first rounders.
Like, what they could do is they could do like some sort of a steal. Like, they could go and they could trade like the Colts. Like, they could try and get like Nyheim Hines or something, or like they could try and get Philip Lindsay from the Broncos. Like, someone who's like running a tandem running back thing like that, and trying to like just give them the draft pick and say, here, take whatever you want.
Well, I mean, you got to think too what teams want to move up for, because I don't. After Trevor Lawrence, it's a crapshoot, in my opinion. And what team is going to want to go up there and possibly make a move? Like, does Dallas try to go up because of a situation with Dak? And, because obviously not having Dak right now is really hurting Dallas. Or is a team like, say, Trubisky struggles these next 2 weeks, does Chicago possibly think about moving up in the draft?
Who I think might move up?
Who's that?
Washington. What do they have to give up though? Maybe
I would not take. If I'm Washington, I stay away from Ohio State quarterback because you just do that.
If I'm Washington, I take. See, that's maybe not trade up to 2. I don't even know. They might actually have a decent pick where they could take someone like Mac Jones, but if they were stupid enough to take Justin Fields after they dealt with Dwayne Haskins, I don't know, dude.
I don't think Mac Jones is gonna go like that high. Because I think Mac Jones is probably like
he'll probably be a second rounder.
The fifth best quarterback coming out.
I saw the thing that said he's the 3rd.
Because you have Trey Lance and you also have Zach Wilson, but then you can even throw in Kyle Trask if you wanted to.
Yeah.
So if I'm Washington, I'm looking at either Zach Wilson or Trey Lance.
There's a lot of good quarterbacks in this draft.
So I think Washington would be in a good position to hope one of those quarterbacks falls to them than trying to trade up.
I don't know why I have a feeling Kyle Trask will be better in the NFL than Justin Fields.
I can see it.
I mean, you could say like, because I feel like what a lot of people are gonna say, hold on. I just want to make sure I've got my facts right before I go on a tangent here. Never mind. Okay. I'm not going to say what I was going to say, but like, I don't know, like Kyle Trask, I mean, he's in the running for Heisman. Am I wrong?
No, he's in the running.
Yeah, like this guy, like he's a
leads,
real deal.
He leads the FBS in touchdown passes and total touchdowns, I think. I don't know.
Florida's groomed some pretty good quarterbacks in the past. Such as Tim Tebow.
So as of right now, Mac Jones is the favorite to win the Heisman. Then it's, why do they even have Trevor Lawrence on here?
Florida's had some pretty interesting quarterbacks though. Like Jacoby Brissett played there for a bit. Jeff Driscoll played there for a bit. Will Grier played there for a bit. And there was a bunch of randoms in between that did nothing.
So Sporting News, I'm on Sporting News right now, looking at the odds, and they have Devontae Smith and Mac Jones as the two tied as the favorite to win the Heisman. Kyle Trask is third. They have Trevor Lawrence fourth, and then Najee Harris fifth.
Yeah, I don't think Trevor Lawrence will win it, but
I don't think Trevor Lawrence will win it either.
I don't know.
But he proved that he's like, he proved that he deserves to be the number one pick after, coming out and doing what he did to Notre Dame on Saturday. Mind you, it was a total team effort, but still, I mean, they played him earlier in the year and they lost to him.
You know what else I just realized? The LSU, they haven't really had many good starting quarterbacks.
Nope.
Like before Burrow. Yikes.
You got to go back. Last good starting quarterback, I mean, obviously they didn't turn on the NFL, is, and I'm probably wrong about this, but it was like the Jamarcus Russell, Matt Flynn year.
Yeah.
They did bad this year too.
I guess Zach Mettenberger wasn't bad, but definitely didn't pan out in the NFL.
You got to think about, like, they went, I understand they lost like a lot of their starters from last year, but would they finish under 500?
I'm not honestly sure.
I think they finished under 500 on the season. Gotta go take a look. LSU 5-5. Like, they went national, had one of the most historic offenses in college football history, and then they just shit the bed this year. Sorry, they crapped the bed this year and finished 5-5.
I forgot the Dolphins play Saturday.
They do play Saturday.
They're on at 7:15 on NFL Network.
By the way, there's no Thursday night game this week.
Yeah, there's only Friday night.
Friday, Saints, Vikings, and then there's 3 Saturday games this coming week.
However, for those of you that plan on watching the San Francisco-Arizona game, fun fact, Prime Video only. It is not on television anywhere. It is only on Prime Video. So if you are a San Francisco 49ers fan or an Arizona Cardinals fan, if you don't have Arizona Prime, well, that sucks. Go to Twitch. Guarantee you somebody will be streaming it, because Twitch does Amazon Prime, like, football streaming.
Yeah.
So if you want to watch that game, go on Twitch. Guarantee you someone will have it there. But Saturday we've got Tampa Bay, Detroit at noon, and then we have Miami and Vegas at 7. And then Friday it's the Minnesota Saints game. And then Sunday you got the absolutely amazing 1-13 New York Jets against the 10-4 Browns. And from there on out, you got the rest of the stuff.
Biggest game next week, or this coming weekend, I'm just looking at like who's all playing, has got to be the Sunday night game. That or the Colts Steelers.
For me, the biggest game is the Baltimore game.
There's actually a lot of good games. Like you even have the Rams and the Seahawks. That's going to be a good big one. For you, obviously, it's the Dolphins. For Packer fans and Titans fans, that's going to be hopefully a great game. And then you have the Steelers and the Colts. I mean, the Steelers aren't looking good, and the Colts are fighting for hoping that Green Bay beats Tennessee.
Dude, this sucks because if the Dolphins lose week 17 and the Ravens and so the Dolphins win and then the Ravens lose and then the Dolphins lose and then the Ravens win the following week, the Dolphins are out.
Yep.
That's so sad.
That's got to be based off of
it's division.
It's
because that game is it's a divisional game week 17. That's why they win the tiebreaker over Baltimore right now, is because they'll have those divisional wins. So if they beat Buffalo, Baltimore's not in it because Miami wins tiebreaker, so Miami takes over the 7th seed.
Whoa. So I just got a notification here that the Seattle Seahawks wide receiver Josh Gordon hasn't satisfied terms of reinstatement and won't be able to play or practice.
Really?
So he is still out indefinitely. Wonder what he did. I don't understand how. I am surprised people are still giving that man opportunities, especially the Seahawks.
I'm not.
He's a good wide receiver, but the guy can't stay on the freaking field. He keeps getting suspended. You're over there looking like you're defeated, thinking about the Dolphins.
Well, this is stupid. This sucks. I like Josh Gordon.
Well, do what every other NFL player does. It's abide by the rules, and you'll be out on the field. Mind you, I don't like
I feel like there's something behind this that isn't right.
Well, I think obviously the NFL should do it because what was MLB? Was it MLB that said that they're not testing marijuana anymore?
It says Josh Gordon and the Seahawks were notified today.
Yeah, because I thought they just the Seahawks reinstated or they activated him to play. They thought he could play.
This doesn't make any sense. Why in the world would they announce this, that he can come back, and then all of a sudden, no, he can't play because he hasn't met the terms? You would know this before this is all coming out. Why would you do something so stupid?
Yeah, that makes
the NFL sucks.
That makes the NFL look dumb and makes the Seahawks look dumb for announcing he can come back.
Well, it makes Josh Gordon look like an idiot now too, because he probably thought that he could come back because he probably did what he
thought
knew he could do.
He needed to do, yeah. I don't know. Well, obviously, we all know that the NFL isn't run by a very smart man. Well, I wouldn't say smart, but he's probably, when it comes to the terms of the commissioners in the big three of the sports here, you have Adam Silver's head and shoulders above freaking Rob Manfred and Roger Goodell. So,
yeah. Well, I guess what we'll have to do is we'll have to wait and see what happens. Week 17. I think so. Okay, so we're on week 16 right now.
Yep.
So today is the 22nd. So the podcast after week 16 will be on the 29th, and then the podcast after week 17 will be on January 5th. So expect the January 5th episode of this podcast to either be very good or very sad. Because depending what happens in week 17 depends on if the Dolphins make the playoffs. If the Dolphins don't make the playoffs, I'm going to be a very sad human. If the Dolphins make the playoffs, I'll be very happy. But this is the way that I feel. If they can at least say they win against Las Vegas, and they lose against Buffalo, and then Baltimore wins, you know, they got 10 wins. I'm okay with it.
Well, like we were discussing though earlier on, if they lose if Buffalo or Miami loses any of those 2 games that they have left to the Raiders and the Bills, they need the only game that can help them make the playoffs, or based on if we're just talking Baltimore here, the only game that can help them make the playoffs against Baltimore is if Cincinnati beats Baltimore.
Yeah.
That Giants game means.
Well, I mean, here's the thing that I'm looking at. So if Miami loses week 7, or so if they win week 17 against the Raiders, so this week, if they beat the Raiders and then the Ravens lose to the Giants somehow, and then let's say they lose to the Bills week 17 and the Ravens win,
you're gonna hurt your brain again, Josh.
Oh no, okay, hang on. So let's say week 16. So this week, let's say the Dolphins beat the Raiders, and then the Ravens beat the Giants, and then the Steelers beat the Colts.
Yep.
Week 17, the Dolphins could still lose, the Ravens could still win, but the Colts would have to lose again. So it also depends on the Colts.
So you're saying that if the Colts lose, wait, what are you talking about?
If the Colts lose week 16 and 17, the Dolphins are in the playoffs.
So you're expecting if the Colts lose
I can see Pittsburgh beating the Colts, but I can't see Jacksonville beating the Colts. But it's never impossible because the Jets did beat the Rams.
Well, we also talked about earlier the Jags only win this season came to the Colts.
That is true. Like I said, they only win, and they were fully healthy on both sides. So I'm pretty sure the Jags are fully healthy.
Yeah, there's a lot of scenarios that can, because the way that I have it right now, because I still have the NFL playoff machine up, because I did exactly what you said could happen. If Miami would be playing Pittsburgh as of the way that I have it, and I think they could beat Pittsburgh.
Yeah,
and then they would probably play.
You know what Kansas else is City, what else is weird is if in week 17, if Miami beats Buffalo and the Colts win and the Ravens win, which Miami beating Buffalo is very hard to see. Regardless if Pittsburgh or Cleveland win their game, Miami's still either the 5th or the 6th seed if they win. But again, if they lose, you know,
like we were talking about though, Miami's destiny is in their hands. They went out there and
like even so with the Miami situation, if the Colts lose week 17 or if the Ravens lose week 17, the Steelers or the Browns can win and the they'll still be the 7th seed. So it's either Colts or Ravens. You know, one of them's gonna have to choke at some point.
You gotta hope.
Or the Dolphins have to win out, which it's hard for me to see them beating the Bills. It's hard. It's possible, but
obviously the Dolphins have the hardest schedule remaining out of all 3 of those teams.
Yeah.
I mean, it is. Yep. You mean the Colts do play the Steelers.
Yeah.
But then they have the Jaguars.
And then the Ravens play the Bengals.
Yeah, they play the Bengals and the Giants. So, and then Vegas.
Although if you think about it from this standpoint, now I'm going to do some crunching because now I'm a little bit curious. So the Bengals beat the Steelers. So that technically that classifies the Bengals as a good team. So say Bengals win against the Texans week 16. Colts beat Pittsburgh. Week 17 comes along. The Bengals beat the Ravens because they're still on a hot streak. And the Colts still win. And then the Browns beat the Steelers. That puts Miami at the 7th seed against Buffalo if Miami loses. Steelers are at the 6th seed against Indianapolis. And then the Titans are at 5th seed against the Browns.
Yeah, that's that all divisional matchup then for the wild card, isn't it?
Yep.
Yeah, there's a lot of scenarios still in play for both the NFC and the
Oh, wait, no, it's not divisional because Cleveland will be going up against Tennessee.
Oh, you have a different game switched in there than I do then.
I didn't do the Tennessee game. Well, that's if, so like, let's say Green Bay beats Tennessee, then it would be divisional. and then Tennessee wins week 17, then it would be divisional. But yeah, I don't know. I guess we'll see what happens. Like, it sucks because if the Dolphins could have just won one more game like a couple weeks ago or whatever, they wouldn't be in. I feel like it would be a little bit easier for them. But this game against Buffalo in week 17, that decides everything.
I mean, when they came out, they should have, they blew the lead against Kansas City. They stopped playing good after the first quarter. They should have never lost to Denver.
No. Denver's good, though. I'm telling you, they almost beat Kansas City, which is crazy.
You guys should have never lost to the Patriots week 1.
No.
Because that was the start of everybody talking about Cam Newton being back. And obviously we know where Cam Newton's at now.
So I just looked at this. What's crazy is if the Dolphins win out and dude, if the Dolphins win out and the Browns win against the Jets, and then the Ravens beat the Colts, and then the Steelers lose to the Colts, or Ravens beat the Jets and the Steelers lose to the Colts, and then the Bills beat the Patriots, and then the Titans lose to the Packers. Week 17, Dolphins beat the Bills somehow, and then the Ravens beat the Bengals. If the Browns beat the Steelers, the Titans beat the Texans, and the Colts beat the Jags, I know that was a lot to rack up. This would finish with Miami in 7, Pittsburgh 6, Tennessee 5, Buffalo 2, Cleveland 3, and Indy 4. So Cleveland would move all the way up to 3rd, while Pittsburgh would drop all the way to 6. Wow, that's crazy. But if you flip that around, if Cleveland beats Pittsburgh in week 17, or if Pittsburgh beats Cleveland in week 17, then Baltimore slides into the 7th spot, Miami goes to 6, and then Pittsburgh goes up to 4th. It's nuts.
You gotta love the NFL.
But the worst part about all of this is Miami, if they lose week 17, Jacksonville needs... Wait.
If they lose week 17, they need help. And that help has got to come from some of the worst teams in football this season.
I just realized if they lose week 17...
Whoa.
Like, if the Bills win week 16... Pittsburgh needs to win week 16 as well. Or the Giants?
You want to know who's starting for the Clippers?
Who?
Nick Batum.
Makes sense. That's gonna be so
he's starting at the 4.
I don't even want to keep trying to see what's going to happen with this playoff scenario, but yeah. So we'll honestly, I think that's all we got for right now. We've talk basketball, we talk football. We've got pretty much everything covered.
Yeah, there's nothing going on in the MLB season or MLB right now.
No. So once more stuff happens, so like next week on this podcast, it's gonna be pretty interesting because we'll have week 16 for the NFL done, and then it'll be Bucks debut will be done. So we'll be talking about that, and we'll see how that goes. So join us again next week on the 28th, I think it was 9th. Join us next week again on the 29th. We will be here again talking about football, basketball. If the Brewers do anything other than sign Tim Lopes to their roster, something big, we might talk about that, but nothing of note has happened. So again, thank you guys for watching and listening, because you guys are also listening. Forgot about that. We do appreciate it. And I've noticed again that no one's said anything on the comments on the SoundCloud or on the Facebook messages, but I'll bring it up again just because. If you guys want us to mention anything on the podcast, let us know in the Facebook messages or on the Facebook post. Make a comment on SoundCloud on the Facebook post. Send a message to the Facebook page, whatever you want to do, and we will take a look at it, and we'll have that set aside and ready for the next podcast. Potentially next week, we might have someone joining us. Not entirely sure yet. We'll see how it goes. But if not, you can expect us to both be back here next week.
Yeah.
You got anything, Austin?
Nope, I just want to say happy holidays to everybody. I hope everybody has a safe the holidays coming up this weekend. Enjoy being those that can be with family. Enjoy your time with family, and we'll be back next week.
Exactly. Everybody, please stay safe. Enjoy your holidays. And we will be back next week with some interesting sports news. Hope to see you all there. Thank you very much.